Hey there, this is the Orlando Squadcast. It is your one-stop shop for all the latest news, history, and updates from the City Beautiful.
Hey, checkers.
Ooh. Yeah. The city is so huge, so there's a lot going on.
So tips, secrets, happenings, anything that's new that's happening, you're going to be hearing it here first.
Thank you for joining us as we explore the vibrant culture, people, and places that make Orlando so beautiful. Get ready to be in the know and stay in the know with the Orlando Squadcast. Thanks for joining us. I'm your host, Mark Rominger, but I am not alone.
No.
It was pretty good. That was a good intro.
That was a good one.
Thanks.
Verbatim.
But no, we have Rob Stack with us. What's up, Rob?
Hey, everybody. Welcome to the podcast. It's just me and Mark today. Nope,
No,
I
it's
lied.
not.
It's not. We
It's
have
not.
another
Surprise.
Goldilocks over here. Jonathan Spiegel is with us. Hey, Johnny.
Hey guys, I'm growing my hair out.
It looks beautiful.
good.
Thank you.
It's looking like it's getting blonder.
Well,
Sun in.
it's just because I'm
Sun
getting
in.
more gray hair. I'm just getting.
So it's just catching light.
It's just reflecting more.
Yes.
Yeah. But thanks for noticing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go get my my split ends and stuff trimmed off in the next few days. But I'm
idea.
going for the full Tom Petty 1974.
You do look like
That's a
Tom Petty.
classic look.
Yeah, that's a
And
good
that's
look.
totally one that you can pull off well.
Thank you, Mark.
Well, with our viewers,
I would like to say, first of all, thank you so much for listening to us. We really appreciate your support. And as long as you're listening now, be sure to subscribe and like on all of those YouTube platforms and your podcast platforms. And if there's anything you'd like to know, be sure to drop a link or drop a question in those little comments below, and we'll be sure to answer those questions and maybe see the things that you click on. We love you so much. Mark, how's everything going
it's
your
going
way?
well.
Dude?
What I want people to do, I want them to, if they're listening to it, I want them to go to YouTube and watch your eyes in that because they were awesome and
Sparkling.
creepy at the same time.
Yeah.
Thank you. I
Like your
appreciate
left
that.
eye was like I'm in, and the right
Twitching.
eye I was like I'm
watching
scared
you.
of him.
So it's a hereditary thing. Like
Yep.
I call it the alligator eye, where
There's a name
where,
for
where
it.
the older you get in on the male side of my family, on the
Okay.
Spiegel side, your right eye just gets a little
I
little
think I
tiny
have
more
that.
thing.
Little tiny.
You know, so like whenever I'm talking to my dad, he's just sitting here like this.
He's a-
Like,
he's a
just-
pirate.
he's pop-eyed all the time.
Yeah.
I'm like, Dad, are you listening? He's like, yeah. I'm like, well, open your right eye.
So that's happening to you in real time.
It's happening to me in real time.
Well,
I
if you're on
noticed
YouTube,
that.
if you're watching us on YouTube, you're seeing it in real time.
Yeah. I take pictures all the time, and I'm like, what is my eye doing?
Yeah.
What is my other
I know.
eye doing?
I know.
Anyway.
And then you try and uncross your eye. That you know,
Yeah.
I don't have crossed eyes.
No, you don't. No,
No.
they look good. They're blue, especially in that shirt.
Thanks.
Do you want to hear what I did? Well,
Yeah.
but we do have a good guest on today. Rob
Oh.
Lott is
Who is
joining
on
us.
today?
Oh, I'm
Rob
excited.
Lott is on today.
Rob Lott.
He's been in the Hoop to Do review for years. He's worked at Disney for 23 years.
That's a funny ass man.
He's funny. He's
Yep.
creative. He just came back from Abu Dhabi, SeaWorld. He helped open SeaWorld in Abu Dhabi. So we're going to talk to him about it. It's going to be
Yeah, he
great.
just started his company, Blue Trumpet Creative.
Blue
or
Trumpet Creative.
Recently
Yeah,
created
over
company.
Yeah,
It's a
I think it was
COVID-
I think
it's
it
a
was
COVID
2020.
COVID company.
Yeah, COVID company.
Yeah,
so he's going
October
to talk about that.
2020, if my
Plus, he's
memory-
a good friend of ours. So make sure you listen because we giggle a lot.
He gives really great hand massages.
Huge.
yeah.
Rob and I
actually-
don't know that.
Huge.
Never-
You just said a word. Huge.
Huge. I was gonna
Huge
say
hand massages.
How does he give a huge hand massage?
Book them. You have to find
I don't know. That's a secret sauce, I guess.
Blue Trumpet Creative. Well, it's,
I like that anything that was going to come out of my mouth, Mark had pre-programmed huge.
Well, I
you could have said
immediately
anything. I was going to say huge.
He gives good hand
I was
massage.
not even paying
Huge.
attention. I was thinking about.
I immediately thought of those giant Mickey hands just like massaging you. Like huge Mickey
Hey,
hands.
do you guys want to hear about what's happening with me?
Yeah, dude. What's going on with
Huge.
you in your life?
So a few weeks ago, my in-laws were here, and it was my father-in-law's 70th birthday. Happy birthday, Bill.
Oh man, happy
Uh,
birthday.
Anyway, he got a booking for at Disney. We went to Disney. They like to go to Disney.
Mhm.
He got a booking at Cinderella's table.
No way.
Ooh.
Have you ever been there?
No.
No, I hadn't either.
Isn't that like really hard to do?
It's super hard to do. He like
Isn't
got
the wait
it,
list
and
like years?
I don't know. Like Sarah and I have tried to do it, and we're like Disney masters when it comes to
Right.
the app. And he just texted her one day. He's like, "I got this reservation,"
Wait.
and we have 100 people in our family, so like that's really hard. to
Did they
get.
accommodate everybody?
Yes, we had a big table. Yes, it was in the middle of the day. It was lunchtime too. It was like 12 o'clock.
What?
Mark, I think this is much bigger than you're making it. Like,
It was awesome.
Yeah.
So it's in the castle.
They
It's
picked-
literally in the castle.
so, okay, wait a minute. Let me get it
Okay.
cleared because like I was told that it was like they select 2 families a day for this, right? There's
No,
like,
no, it's a full restaurant.
It's a full restaurant.
Yeah, it's a restaurant.
Okay.
No, you're probably thinking of like there's a
castle
hotel.
stay, right?
There's a hotel there that it's not. You can't book it.
You can't book it.
That's
Yeah.
special.
That's
this is
special.
special too. But now
Yeah.
you're gonna make the story sound
I've been in
dumb.
that room actually.
The
at the top of
restaurant?
Cinderella's castle.
Oh, or
You've
the
been in
hotel?
Yeah, I used to do the castle show whenever I was
Yep.
friends with certain characters there, and we were able to go up to the top, and it's like a bridal suite kind of thing.
Yeah, is it pretty? Is it nice?
It's gorgeous. Yeah.
Is it
Well, now
small?
whatever I say is not going to be cool because
Yeah,
you guys.
we're done.
completely
We're
turned
moving on
it
to
are
the
we
castle
are we
thing.
done with what Mark was talking about?
I ate
What
at the
was he-
royal table. It was really good.
What'd you have to eat, Mark?
I don't remember at this point. I had so many kids. I was cutting food the whole time. I don't remember. Like I was just cutting food, and
I
then
think I
like,
had-
and they're like, "Time's up," and I was like, "What?" I will say that I did have a beer. They can have beer and wine at the restaurants at Magic Kingdom, so I did have a beer. It's cool when they announce your family when you come in. Like,
That's
the
cool.
lawmakers are here.
Did they give
and
the
then
head?
you take a picture with Cinderella on the way up.
Yeah.
Really?
Did they give like the head of the table like a
No, but
throne and a scepter?
no, they didn't do that. Well,
No.
I was with my father-in-law, so then we would have battled on who was the head of the table.
Yeah,
For
for
sure,
sure.
I don't want to do that.
You would have been the court jester.
Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I would have been sitting there cutting food with
Cutting
a
food.
dingly thing on my
Yeah,
head.
and they'd be like, "Look at him! Look at
And I'm
Dad!
like, where have I become?
These are crappy cuts. Throw them back
Yeah,
at you.
but they did give the kids like swords and wands and stuff.
Really?
it
That's
was pretty
fun.
cool. And
That's awesome.
and there was all the princesses, like all it's for a dad girl. You would love. It was all
Yeah.
Prince Jasmine, Ariel, all of them were up there, and they came around like
What
Fort
about
Snow
Merida?
White.
Was Merida there?
Yeah,
How was the food?
Great.
I don't remember. I was cutting food the whole time.
You didn't eat any of it?
I did have a steak, I think.
Was it good?
Yeah, it was
It was pretty
delicious.
good?
Yeah, yeah.
All right.
Anyway, that's what I did. It was fun. I highly recommend it.
That's
If you
cool.
can ever get a reservation, which you won't be able to.
Well, then I'm just going to take your story and hold it dear to my
Yeah,
heart
put
for
it
the rest
there.
of my
Yeah.
life because
it
I'm
there.
never going to
Try
be
to
able to get in there.
vicariously live through you.
Let's talk about Orlando a little bit. You guys ready for the? Well, we're excited. This is a debut
We
of our
might do the debut
soundbite.
of a soundbite
We-
right now.
So
Okay.
we're gonna say it, and then
And then we're going to give a couple
Vivian's
seconds of
and
silence.
Carlos is
They're
Great.
gonna
Okay,
add
ready?
in our
So this-
budget-friendly
this is our first section. O-Town Throwdown.
O-Town Throwdown.
Gorge.
Okay.
And now
comment
the
below,
silence
comment
is
below
over.
if you liked it.
All
I don't
right.
know if we-
Listen, it's in the workshop phase, so
Yeah,
if you
I
have
feel-
any
we
suggestions.
had fun recording
It's
it.
also just as funny, like if we just
We just
there's
paused.
no sound.
What if they don't put it in?
Yeah, they don't
What
put
if
it
they
in.
forget?
Put
Well,
it in post.
Vivian, don't forget.
If they do
She's actually
forget,
gonna forget to be a jerk to us.
if they do forget, you can listen on Outcast, and it'll just skip.
It'll
over
skip
yeah,
over it.
Yep. It's
All right,
overcast.
I'm gonna start off with. We have another soundbite.
It. We do have another song.
Yeah, we have
for-
this,
Local yoke.
local yokel.
Local yokel.
Okay, that's a soundbite.
We
There
like
it
it.
is.
I feel
Another
like
soundbite.
We don't know. We did multiple, so I don't know which ones they're gonna use
Nope.
We're not
until
sure.
after the. Okay, so are you ready for this?
Yeah.
Are you guys ready for this?
Yeah, I'm playing excited piano.
Okay. So from July 28th to September 4th, SeaWorld has something called a craft beer festival. Did you know about this?
Yeah.
So it's like they're kind of like their food and wine, but they're like,
Yeah.
we're just going to do beer.
Yeah.
I'm going to read you about it, okay?
Read it.
Okay, read it. So it's annual, right? The Craft Beer Festival is included with park admission and is held on Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays from 12 p.m. to 1 hour prior to park close. Celebrate Florida's endless summer with over 100 craft beers, wine, seltzers, cocktails paired with more than 15 food items at select stations, entertainment throughout the park, and it ensures a lively atmosphere. They have a flame craft bar. They have a barley barrel. They have brews and chews, like Funky Buddha beers, like all this
Ooh, I
crazy
like
stuff.
Funky
Yeah, they have. What else do they have? They have a chocolate bourbon pecan pie.
Oh, that sounds
That
delicious.
sounds good, right?
Yeah.
Gosh.
Frozen whiskey sour, pulled pork slider, boozy s'mores, and cheese curds. Just to
Oh,
name a
man.
few. I've never been to it. When I was looking up stuff to do, I was like, well, I want to find some stuff. I was like, they have it. It's like a little secret.
Dude, it's amazing. And the sleeper is that SeaWorld has amazing freaking food. So like
Yeah, they do.
all of their little huts and stuff that they put up, they're freaking great. And
So-
I think we talked about this. Don't they do
We
like a
did.
punch card or something?
Do they?
They do
We
something.
did talk about this. I can't remember when.
We're talking about it right now.
Talk about it
We-
right
we're
now.
talking,
We're talking about it right-
about
we're
it right
literally
now.
talking
yeah,
about
for
it.
sure.
Yeah.
But we
But-
were talking about the differences between food and wine and craft beer fest.
Yes.
Really?
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
Oh, well, that didn't surprise you guys, but that's good. I brought it back to your attention. How
Well,
awesome
like
it's
it.
awesome that it's
I think it's
happening.
great. I think it's a great option for if you're local and you're like, food and wine's awesome, but man, it's crazy busy over there.
Yep.
Or if you're a tourist coming into town, like go hit that on Friday.
Yep.
Just to get a little different vibe, right?
They also have great music there throughout the
Yeah.
summer as well.
Ton
so
of
you know
shows,
the
yeah.
summer concert series.
Right,
and stuff.
SeaWorld Craft Beer Festival.
There it is.
Now,
All right, thanks, Mark.
Playing now through September 4th.
Wait, is it a ticketed event? Like, what? How does it work? Is
It's part of your admission, man.
It's just part of your admission. So you're
It
just
starts at
there
noon,
for the
Friday,
party.
Saturday, Sunday. So it's a weekend thing.
Okay.
So you should
I
go.
like it.
Awesome.
I
Comment
like
below
SeaWorld
if you
anyway,
go.
so.
All right. Now it's time for a new soundbite.
A new soundbite, which
We
is
have
going to
another
be
one?
the soundbite for Park Narc. And here's the Park Narc soundbite. Park Narc. Park Narc.
Okay.
That's the
All right.
soundbite
I like
right
that
there.
one.
Yeah,
I like
that's
the
new one.
space too. This is fun for us.
Yeah.
I feel really good about it.
Whenever we have that space, I can really feel the energy.
Me
still
too.
moving.
Me too.
Yeah.
You know
All
what I
right.
mean?
What's happening with the world of the
All
theme
right,
park?
so the world that's happening now, they just released the Halloween Horror Night Days.
Oh, okay.
Bada boom, bada bing. This is one of this is the longest HHN runs they've ever had.
I feel like they do that every year though.
Yeah,
They
it
do
gets
that
a
every
little
year.
bit longer.
Because
It's
they're
a little
like,
bit
we're gonna
longer.
make money.
Yeah.
For sure. And and I'm gonna do a wrap point why I think that's good for us local people here in a second.
Okay.
Mhm.
So they're going from September. Let me make sure I'm saying this date right because I'll get beat up by my fans. September 1st. Yeah, all my fans. September 1st through November 4th
Oh,
is Halloween Horror
okay.
Nights.
Okay.
September, October,
Yeah.
and then
November.
no, a little bit of
A little bit
November,
of it.
right?
It,
So
it should end around.
it should end
November.
around then for
Yeah.
sure. And then also you got to think that we're competing directly with Grinchmas and everything, so
Yeah.
they have to quick turnaround
Yeah.
at
Sure.
studios. But anyway, so September 1st through November 4th. Okay. I think that's great for us for many reasons as locals because now we're not stressed to try and go specifically during the month of Halloween.
Right.
Because as the holidays pick up, our schedules as parents and people out there, it just kind of picks up naturally, right?
Yep.
Yep.
Just the busy hustle and bustle. So if we're able to go and have our spooky season in
September.
in
It
September,
can be the big grand opening to the fall.
exactly, exactly. And you think about people that are obsessed with fall and Halloween
The
anyway.
kickoff.
The kickoff, exactly.
Yep.
Mhm.
They're already burning, the virgin candles from Hocus Pocus. They started doing that after July 4th,
yeah.
so they're already in fall mode.
Yep.
So it's catering to that. It's helping us locals maybe get out there a little bit more.
Well, it's
not be crunched.
stretching the availability out,
Stretching for the
which
availability.
is going to be great because maybe that can offset some of the attendance issues. that they
Yeah,
have.
because
because I feel
there's-
like you go there and you only have time to do what 2 houses,
Yeah, unless you
maximum,
get
2,
that pass
3 if you're
thing.
lucky.
Yep.
Yeah,
Unless you can pay
scare
the
pass.
$500 for that
Yep.
that
So
pass.
as a former HHN team member employee
Same.
there, I have a few hints for you as
Okay.
you go into the HHN season.
Ready?
If you can, go earlier in the night. Just
Okay.
because it's dark or just because it's not dark doesn't mean it's not spooky.
Well, the houses are dark.
All the houses are dark.
Right,
okay?
right.
And they're air
So
conditioned.
get there right when it
So
opens.
get there right when it opens.
Yep.
All right. That's a little tidbit right there. Also go earlier in the season if you can, because the scare actors, they're still fresh. They're still in
pumped
love
up.
with the
They're still
roles. They're still
pumped
pumped up. The
Yeah.
jump scares are still good.
They're more authentic.
They're all more authentic.
They're
You know what I
creating.
mean? Because as it gets later in the season, it's tiring.
Yeah.
It's hard to work till 3 a.m. every day.
physically
Yeah,
exhausting.
Physically
and keep
exhausted.
So they're just
scaring the
like,
people the same way.
Yeah, exactly. So
Good tip.
that's a tidbit for the locals. Just go there a little bit early and show up when they open. I mean, just
go.
just because it's not
Just go.
nighttime, it's still gonna
Grab
be
a
spooky.
donut
Yeah.
over at Voodoo's and get in there.
Grab a donut, hit the roadie, and then go over there.
These are
Call
some-
your mommy on the phoney.
Yeah.
and
These
say,
are great pro tips.
yeah. So
I love this.
that's your HHN.
I think, I'm excited for
I
I'm
would
excited
like for
Halloween.
all of us to go to that if you guys are. If
I
you're
would be
game.
down.
I haven't been in a few years.
I know that you guys probably already had plans to go, so I'm excited to be included.
you can come with us. Should we let
Me
him?
and I've
Yeah, we
already
were
booked our
gonna go.
tickets.
Yeah,
but Rob,
but
if
we
you want
could
to come
probably see
with
if there's
me,
an
and-
extra
You think
ticket
you
or
can get
something.
one more? You pull some strings.
We probably.
No, I
Can
can
I-
see. I
we
can
can
see.
see, or we could just go a different night, just with him.
Yeah, we could just go a different night.
Yeah, we could still go by ourselves.
We'll go
and
like
then-
on a Wednesday.
Yeah, when it's not crowded.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's
Um,
great. I'm
Yeah,
excited about
so
that.
there's HHN news.
Thanks for
Yeah.
that. All right, should we go to the next one? And there's a new soundbite.
I think there's a new.
There is a new soundbite, and this is it. Progress? That was it. I hope you liked it.
Progress.
Anyways, guys, exciting news from the Dr. Phillips Center. They
Ooh.
have big plans to transform the campus with a $175 million expansion.
Ooh.
They're seeking $145 million from tourist development tax funds and then another $15 million from the city of Orlando itself. They're set to add a new 750-seat theater, a 12 to 14,000 square foot exhibit space, and 10,000 square feet of event and banquet space.
That's
But
good.
that's not all. There's more. They're
Where?
doing more.
What
Guys,
more? What's
it's like
more?
this tiny little lot, but they're just jam-packing so much into it. The front of the lawn will become an outdoor auditorium for around 7,000 guests. There's going to be a rooftop garden, cafe, and a restaurant. But there's also on the back side of the Dr. Phillips Center, they want to do 2 residential properties, like new high-rise apartments or
okay.
condos or something
Okay.
like that. If funds are delivered in a timely fashion, they aim to open the expansion around 2027
In that little that grassy area?
in that grassy area right over there. in
I
front.
kind of like the grassy
I
area.
kinda like the
though.
grassy area, too.
I mean, it's
it
dead
was-
space, but
Yeah, but you needed to breathe, right? Orlando's pretty like on top of each other, so
Yeah.
I kind of liked it because it allowed you
Yeah,
to
me
breathe
too.
a little bit. But I mean, it will be nice to have a little bit more offerings right there because right now all they have to offer is
Touring shows.
touring shows,
Yeah, which is good.
comedians, which is good. But I think maybe we'll see some more local.
I like the
artists.
idea of that 750 seat theater. That's cool.
Outside.
That's gonna
Yeah,
be
that's
cool. Well, then we're gonna probably see more regional productions
Right,
there. We'll
right.
probably see more bands, local bands, concerts,
not
smaller
like huge
venues.
bands,
Yeah.
but like that's just a singer
know.
or something.
Is Battle of the Bands still around?
Oh, I don't know. Is
I
it?
don't know.
Remember
I
that
haven't
back
seen
in
it.
high school, Battle of the Bands?
I remember.
just remember
My
from School of
son's
Rock.
school did Battle of the Bands.
Really? Yeah, and then
it was
School of Rock, Battle
Should
of the
they
Bands.
do
you
that
know?
there?
I don't know.
Oh,
I think maybe I might pitch it up to my buddy Buddy.
The doctor?
fun. That actually
Yeah.
would be great.
Buddy
Dr.
Dyer.
Faria.
Oh,
For Buddy Buddy?
I thought you
Yeah,
were talking
my
about the
buddy
doctor,
Dyer.
Dr. Phillips.
Yeah, for sure. Dr. Phillips, you know?
You can just talk. He's coming on soon.
He is. He's
Yeah,
sponsored
I
the
think
show.
that's progress. Yeah, that's great.
I think so too.
I think it's progress. The only thing that gives me a little bit of a negative connotation are the high rises because again, I like the openness of it. If we were just kind of expanding in different areas, that'd be cool. Leaving a little bit of the
Yeah,
openness
it's like a
of
little
downtown
park in the
Orlando.
middle. Yeah.
But putting another high rise in, it's like okay, that's just another tall building.
I know.
blocking out
That's
sunshine.
somebody trying to make more money. That's
Yeah.
investors and
Yeah,
developers.
but how
trying
cool would it be to
squeeze
like
out.
live right there though?
It would be cool.
Yeah.
Be
That
cool.
would be cool.
See
I
a
don't
show, walk home.
I just get the
Yeah.
more construction I see, the more panic I feel, and I'm like, where are these people gonna go? Where does the infrastructure support this amount
Well,
of
this
people?
downtown though, it needs to be more of a walkable space.
Sure,
Like a lot
sure.
of people. I mean, I lived in New York for a long time. I didn't have a car.
Yeah.
For 15 years, I didn't have a car.
We walked to Planet
You need
Smoothie,
it here. Yeah, we walked to Planet Smoothie today. It was,
5 blocks.
Yeah, it was awesome.
full sweat.
But like, there needs to be more walkable stuff down here, and don't worry about like all the traffic
Yeah.
down here. There
Yeah.
needs,
Well,
like,
if you have everything in one spot,
yeah, the
that
more
will-
they build, the more that there won't be traffic
Yeah.
because I'll just walk there, or I'll Uber, or I'll ride the scooters, or
Right.
the things you guys rode.
I
one
love the
time.
Lime scooters.
Yeah,
Lime
so,
scooters
like,
are fun.
I think it's
Slightly
gonna be- I
dangerous.
think bring more people down here. It's good because
Yeah.
then you get them off I-4.
Yeah,
I
Get 'em
feel
on
I just
Exactly.
love the Dr. Phillips Center as well, dude.
Me too. It's
I-
beautiful.
Beautiful
It's
space.
just amazing. It's
It's
is
truly gorgeous.
Yeah.
I think that's probably one of the best things that downtown has done in a long time.
Yeah, it is.
Yep.
Should we talk? Speaking of
is it
downtown?
time?
Should we talk to Rob Lott?
We should talk to Rob Lott.
Downtown Rob Lott.
Welcome back. We have a very exciting guest today. Today we have the pleasure of welcoming a true powerhouse in the world of theater and creativity to our show. Rob Lott,
Hello.
a professional performer and director with over 20 years of experience, has graced the stage with his immense talent and passion. Based right here in Orlando, Florida, Rob's artistic journey has been nothing short of extraordinary.
2 more minutes of introduction.
He has created awe-inspiring stage productions from intimate atmospheres to grand spectacles, captivating audiences and leaving a lasting impact. But Rob's contributions go beyond the stage. As the owner of lead creative at Blue Trumpet Creative, he specializes in theatrical strategies that create unforgettable experiences for both the audience and the artists involved. Also, Rob is a host of 2 podcasts, right? The Leading Creative, right?
Yeah.
And Let's Talk Soon with his sister Tricia, who is like an amazing author.
Yeah.
So if you haven't listened to that, go listen to that.
Not right now.
We are excited to have local superstar Rob Lott to the show.
Oh my goodness. So I don't think it's any, thank you so much, gentlemen. I don't think it's any secret that like we write our own bios and send them in for you guys to read. But my goodness, Mark,
Changed it.
like you changed it.
Yeah,
You
that's what we
changed it.
do.
You
Yeah.
made it so good.
We do.
Yeah.
We changed
Thank
it.
you.
We changed
Thank
it.
you.
We
You
changed
make
it.
it sound like I actually that I'm doing
Yeah,
stuff.
well, extraordinary. I try to put that into everybody's bio.
And
Now,
awesome.
when do you say extraordinary?
Extraordinary.
I
When
say
do you
Extraordinary
say
versus
extraordinary?
extraordinary.
Yeah.
It's the same, right?
No, it's not. Extraordinary means not special at all.
Right.
Means
That's what you
incredibly
are.
ordinary. Okay, then then it's right. Then we're good.
Extraordinary.
So I should have
So
said extraordinary.
Extraordinary.
Should we redo it?
Can we do that from the top?
How about we wait
Today
and then,
we have the pleasure. No, we're
No, we'll
No,
just keep
I
it
think
like
we should
the show will be
wait
over.
until the end of the podcast and then make that decision.
Ooh, so the listeners right now
So the listeners.
will be like, did they redo it? Did
Speaking
they
of
do
listeners, I'm one.
it? Yeah, this is our first listener.
Yeah, well, no,
listener.
so yeah, immediately I saw that y'all were doing this, and I listened up, and I sent you a text, Mark. I
did.
said,
You're like,
Mark,
I want to be on it.
Mark, what's going on? Tell me. Well, you said you should be on it.
I did say that.
Yeah, and I said, what is going? This podcast is fantastic. I said specifically, I love your theme song. I love the music leading in. So
Oh,
good.
wow,
Is that Vivian?
No,
No.
No, not Vivian.
she wasn't.
Vivian,
paying
get off
attention.
your watch and pay attention to our podcast, for God's sake.
We know we're not good if the person in the room is not paying attention. already.
When the sound engineer is
It's
like,
like
I can't
bored.
wait to get the fuck out of here.
Boring. Yeah, no, but you have your own 2 podcasts, which I listen to both of them. They're fantastic.
Thank you.
So when we first started this, I reached out to him. I was like, "Are we any good?"
Oh man!
he was
Well,
like,
and
"Yeah."
and as I said, and as I've shared with so many, I can tell the quality of a podcast by how much I want to jump in on the conversation. I'm driving my car and I'm listening to you guys talk about the O-Town Throwdown and the local yokel stuff. And I'm like, hey, I want to join in. I want to go to those places and do those things, but also I want to join in on the conversation. So here I am.
Yes,
This
here
is
you
it.
are.
Yeah.
Now you're
Joining
live
us.
in person.
You too can join in on the conversation.
Yeah.
Well, no, not you.
Not everybody.
No, not everybody.
You're not
You have to be extraordinary.
You have to just have gotten back from Abu Dhabi.
See, now we can't cut it. Okay,
Okay,
yeah.
So
Well,
like you're going around the world now.
Oh, that's
okay.
right.
So where do we
Let's go
start
back.
with
Let's
Rob?
go back.
Like,
Yeah.
you were when were you born?
You're not from. Yeah. What time were you born?
As I understand it, was 12:16 a.m.
Okay. All right.
And
Where
so
were you?
I was in.
Where's your mother?
My mother was in Akron, Ohio.
I'm LeBron James.
Yep, Akron, Ohio. I
He's
was
our
born
next
in
guest
Akron.
after you, by the way.
Yes.
Totally. He's waiting in the green room now. We
See,
we
yeah,
chatted
he's
for a little
pumped
bit.
He hit his
Extra
head
tall.
on the door frame. He's like,
He's sponsoring the episode as well.
I was born in Akron, Ohio, and it was 12. So it was either May 15th or May 16th. And
It
so it
depends
turns
what-
I
yeah,
just
yeah.
right over into May 16th. That's when I was born, and that was the beginning.
The Cleveland area, Ohio area. Why'd you come to Orlando? And when did you come to Orlando?
As so many of our friends, so many of us, I was offered a job by the Walt Disney Company.
Okay.
So I started out as a puppeteer at Legend of the Lion King, which is where Mickey's PhilHarm Magic is now.
What? Yes.
Spiegel knows what I'm talking
I
about.
I do.
Oh.
Yeah.
Rob was my puppeteering. He was my puppet.
What?
He was my puppet master.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah,
Really?
so I
didn't
think
know that.
for sure.
We never talked about that.
No.
Me and
I
Rob
never
have known
know
each
that
other for
either.
over
Mark,
a
I
decade.
think honestly, like you're late to the Rob Lott party.
Yeah,
I've known these guys for
yeah,
quite some
long
time.
time.
Yeah. Sorry, man.
Yeah.
You've known him since.
Why don't you just go ahead and meet us outside after the podcast?
I'm extra.
We got a lot of
Yeah.
catching up to
Yeah,
do.
You're
do.
extraordinary
Yeah,
right now,
I gotta get you guys some coffee.
Catch
or
up,
something.
mustard.
So you came here. You were a puppeteer right away.
I was a puppeteer right away, hired as a puppeteer at Legend of the Lion King. Also a show called Pocahontas and Her Forest Friends over at Animal Kingdom, where all the Avatar stuff is now.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure. And they had the talking tree. What, the
Yep,
grizzly?
it was Sprig
so
and Grandmother
cool.
Willow.
Yep.
And then
Old
Voyage of the
shows.
Little Mermaid. That building is still there. That stage is
None
still
of the shows
there.
are still there.
I'm
That's
trying
all
to think of anything that I
Back
worked on is still there. No.
Not at the beginning.
Yeah, Playhouse Disney. And
So was
Disney
it your
changed so
plan?
fast.
Because you've been here how long now? I said it in the bio, didn't I?
20.
Yeah, no,
I blacked out when I
I
read the
got
bio.
here officially in October of 2000.
So 23 years.
Officially lived here longer than I lived in Ohio.
Which
where-
is
Oh, snap.
insane. So when you got here, we're like, this is where I'm gonna live.
Yeah, it was an interesting thing where I came up over the hill. I remember traveling out of town for something. I think I went to Georgia for some reason or another, and I was driving back from Georgia, and I came up over that hill. You know that hill, like outside of in like Altamont area. Came up over that hill, and I could see the skyline of Orlando, and I had this really strange sense of home
Really?
that I had not had, and I had lived here for probably 9 or 10 months, real not yet a full year, and I just had this really strange sense of home where I came over and it was like I'm home now. I'm home. I'm
Really?
home.
Why?
Yeah. I don't know, but it did. I think there's certain things for me at least. I have these, I wouldn't say they're premonitions, but I just have these feelings that I think are placed in me that are like, hey, prepare yourself. You're going to be here for a little while.
I think that's gas.
Just with you.
I think that's gas. Yeah, that's
Yeah, I think, yeah. No, but yeah, I have that. And then like I've often had like these as we're going through kind of the story of me, I guess is what.
That's
kind
what's
of
kind of
That's
happening.
what this is.
This is what's happening.
Yeah, I have kind of these overwhelming senses of like, hey, something big is coming and it's going to change your life for forever. So just kind of mentally prepare yourself.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is. I don't know where it is. I don't know what's going to happen, when it's going to happen. But I just have about like 6 or 9 months before something happens, I have this overwhelming sense of like, hey, big things are coming. Just prepare yourself. And I had that prior to moving to Orlando. I had that prior to my opportunity to go to Tokyo. I had that prior to, and then I also had it prior to going to Abu Dhabi.
The SeaWorld.
That's
so
We're gonna get to that.
freaking
We're gonna
neat,
get to
man.
that.
Cool.
That is cool. I want that feeling. I know. I just like walk
But you
around.
came
and-
to Disney as a puppeteer. That
Yes.
was like what brought you initially. Now, were you a puppeteer before that?
So well, I mean, yeah. So that's a question I'm often asked of like, did I go to school for it? And we know people who went to school for puppetry.
Yeah.
And
Jamie Donmeyer.
Jamie Donmeyer,
Yeah, Donmeyer. She's
Jason
amazing.
Rush.
Yep, for sure.
And these are phenomenal artists, phenomenal performers, phenomenal puppeteers, and puppet builders even. But no, I didn't do any of that.
You took the easy track.
Yeah, I was like,
I
had
did.
a sock.
I did. No,
I made a funny voice.
I've always been pretty good at like emulating or mimicking what I see, and so I grew up watching a lot of Muppet stuff. And you know, I love Muppet stuff. I watched Sesame Street a little longer than I should have. And
like this morning.
and so when the time came where I came in and did the audition, and like, okay, go over to this room. We're gonna do a puppetry audition. So I did that, and I was like, oh, I got this. I know how to do this, and I got the gig.
That's awesome.
That's really cool.
So this is so it's what a interesting situation because like the three of us aren't from here and we moved here and I'll ask you two a question. When you came here, was it like, oh, I'll just live. This is where I'm going to live. It was. Did you feel that, or was it for me? It was like, oh, I'm just going to live here until I move again, kind of thing. Like, let me see if I like it.
Mine was me personally. Mine was between California and Florida, and which one I wanted to go to.
Right.
And I tried out for Disney college program.
Okay.
And so I got hired originally to be a lifeguard. Actually, I got hired to be a lifeguard at Blizzard Beach.
Okay.
And then I auditioned for the character department in Chicago at those huge mass
Yep.
auditions they have around the country. And then so I told myself there, I was like, if I get booked a gig doing anything in entertainment at Disney World, I was like, then I'm gonna try and stay there and make it work.
So you were like, that's where I'm going to live most of my life.
Yep. And I was lucky enough. I was very lucky enough, very blessed. I was hired full time at Disney right after my college program. I went right out of the holiday season right into a full time contract. Very, very lucky and blessed for that.
Rob, did you do that?
I grew up in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, but I always had this like feeling when I was a kid. I was like, man, I want to get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
And
So you
I
were
remember
sad as a
driving to
kid?
the next town. I was like, this is good. This is good.
Not far enough.
You drove 3 hours.
Yeah, I was like, man, I want to get away from my parents so bad. And then I was like driving. I'm like, all right, this is fine.
This will be
Far enough.
This
Far
looks
enough. I
just
still,
different
yeah,
enough.
Need to go home.
They're not going to ask me to pick up milk on the way home.
But I can still get my laundry done.
So that's how you ended up here.
Yeah, you got to balance.
No, I
things.
came here and I was like, I'll be here for 6 months. Most people I feel like are like that. So for
I
you,
heard-
it's very interesting to be like, home, like
Home,
right away.
yeah.
Well, yeah, and I remember hearing. I forget if one of the Christopher Guest actors talk about in a documentary about them making the Christopher Guest films, and I remember hearing him say, I like going to new towns to work, but I want to be invited. I don't want to just show up and start looking for work. And a lot of people show up, they go, where do I want to live in the world? And they go to that place, and then they start looking for work. They start looking for jobs. I'm kind of the opposite, where it's like, I would love to live in New York City, but I want to be invited. I would love to live in LA, but I want to be invited.
Right.
And so this was the first place that invited me.
Yeah.
And so all of the places that I've ever lived in my entire life is because I was invited.
By invite only.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's cool. I should have.
Ooh, yeah.
I'm too old to live like that. But
Yeah.
if I was going to redo it, that's a great way
It
to
is a great motto.
I just forced myself into
Invite only.
situations.
I'm going to call New York and be like, will you invite me?
I went to New York. I went to
Offer
Orlando like
only.
that. I just came here. I was like, who wants to hire me?
I made it.
Yeah, I'm here.
I'm from Broadway.
So for our Disney fans, we do have Disney fans. What are all the name all the shows?
Oh gosh. Okay, I started with well, I didn't start here, but the one that I'm probably most call home is the Hoop-Dee-Doo Review, as well as the Dapper Dans over at the Magic Kingdom. I also did Finding Nemo the musical. I did a show called The Royal Majesty Makers,
All right.
which is an atmosphere show over in Fantasyland.
Ben Pajinski talked about that
yeah,
when he was
that's
here
right.
because he was
He was in New Fantasyland. That's right. Because he was a part of Giggle Gang.
Giggle Gang.
Giggle
Yes,
Gang, yeah.
yes.
Are you guys dressed like madrigals? Is that kind of the kind of thing?
Yeah. So we were, I was the Tobias Quick, the squire who aims higher. And Tobias, what do you do? I'm helpful. We kind of just roamed around Fantasyland.
Cool.
And we did the Sword in the Stone presentation. So we would find a hero of Fantasyland every day, multiple times a day. And but we would go around and kind of make the guests in Fantasyland, make them royalty and treat them as the royalty that they are, which was super fun.
Such a fun job.
It was super cool. And I'll tell you,
in August.
it was hot. There were some hot days for sure. And for some reason, Disney costuming does not allow for seasons.
What do you mean the burlap sack is not appropriate for August
today?
Listen, I'm in the costuming room, in the design room. I totally get it. This looks really, really great.
Yeah.
But let's put it out there actually into the
Just for a
August heat
day.
and see what happens.
As a business model, they're like, we have 3,000 rolls of burlap.
Right, we have to
We
use
have
this.
to use
This
them.
is what we have to use. But what I loved about doing that show truly was you could walk around and my best friends were, what's your name, where are you from? And so we could walk up to any family and say, what's your name, where are you from? The Kingdom of Pittsburgh. Now, are you from Pittsburgh for like truly Pittsburgh, and then it would be the surrounding areas, and we would then be able to say, well, what is that surrounding area? What are they famous for besides you? And
good.
and it would and basically the guests would do the show for us.
Yeah.
We would just ask these questions, and of course we'd try to make it fun. We'd try to make it funny, but it was actually in the description of the show that we are not the comedy, we are not the funny, we are fun. And we make the guests the stars and make them the royalty. And so it was a really great, it was a great way to make a day's living.
Right.
for a
I
little
would
while.
do the same thing when I worked at Hoop. I would always
Speaking
be
of
like,
Hoop-de-doo.
I'd always be like, where are you from? And they'd be like, New Jersey. I'd be like, I'm sorry. And they'd be like, New Jersey. I said, no, I'm sorry. That was always my go-to.
That was your go-to.
Classic.
So Hoop-de-doo. So
Yes.
Rob and I did Hoop-de-doo with you.
That's right.
Jonathan, you never did.
No, but
You
I've
visited.
seen Hoop-de-doo. I visited and
Got your fill of chicken and sangria.
I got my fill of chicken, and my father-in-law was the sub.
That
He
is
sure
right.
was.
Yep. So
Yes.
I do
We
have
all
an
have a-
affiliation still.
I'm
Still in the mix.
Yes.
You totally are. So talk about that. What are some favorite? Because that's like your staple. I feel like that's what you kind of did the longest, right? At the Walt Disney
I
World.
celebrated. My goodness, I probably chimed in. Well, actually, this year would be my 10th year of being involved in that
At
show.
the Hoop-de-doo,
Wow,
a 6-bit
that's
Slocum.
6-bit Slocum.
What are some favorite memories of the? I mean, you don't
I
need to
mean,
talk
yeah.
about us because
I
that would just
mean,
be.
The Hoop people
awkward.
are always like, it's such a unique show because like you really are interacting with the audience. It's a different show every time because the different jokes are different.
Doesn't feel like the typical Disney.
Well,
but you
so-
can create magical moments with the guests, which I think is
100%.
like really great.
And I think so. I was fortunate to be a part of the 40-year anniversary of the show, and so the original cast came back for it. And one of the things that they said stuck with me because they said, hey, did you ever think that you were going to get to do this for 40, that this show was going to run for 40 years? And they said, we weren't thinking about 40 years. We were thinking about this audience and this show. We were thinking about the next audience and this next show. It was all about, let's just take it one show at a time, one audience at a time, do the show for them. So I took that to heart of going, okay, let's not worry about 3 shows tonight. Let's not worry about the 3 or 4 days a week that we're doing this. Let's not worry about that. Let's just worry about this next audience and this next show. And so what I love about the Hoop-de-doo review, and we've had these kinds of conversations back in the green room where it's like, yeah, you're allowed to leave the roadmap. You got to know your way back on course, but you're allowed to leave the roadmap. And if the audience gives you something special, if something happens during birthdays and anniversaries or the dinner entertainment period, and we're able to come back and reference that, the audience gets that sense of going, wait a second.
They eat it up.
This is just happening for us right here, right now. And I think that's the longevity of the show, that people keep coming back.
That's the magic that they
I think
is.
so.
Yeah.
That
It
people
is, 'cause
keep coming
again,
back.
The entertainment in Disney's top notch everywhere you go, but it's a little
but
bit like animatronics.
It's no
They're-
fluke
you know
that a
what I mean?
show lasts 40 years.
Right.
Coming up on
That's-
50.
yeah.
And and
So-
I think it's one of the last, aside from the Atmosphere shows, it is one of the, I think it's the only truly live show that happens on Disney property where, we have benchmarks of time that we need to hit. And,
Right.
there are 3 shows a night, and we need to make sure that we get this audience out and the next audience in on
Right.
time, and there's food service and everything that goes with that. But at the same time, it is truly live, and we get to play with the audience and play with each other. And we don't have a track that we have to stick to or a timing that we have to stick to the beat. Instead, we can truly just have fun, do the show for this audience, and
that's got to
then
give
us another.
And that's a great mentality to keep, like, and that's why people keep coming back. And I mean, I think a lot of performers can tend to get jaded after doing, working for the theme parks for a number of years. But Hoop was always something a little bit different. And you can always tell the ones that really took their job to heart and loved their job. And that was you.
I did love it there. And again, I'm somebody who likes that kind of structure where there's enough structure to know where we are in the show, but also I have the freedom to be able to step out and away from it.
Right.
That's the beauty as a
keep
performer.
it fresh.
For
Keep
sure.
it fresh
For
every
sure.
So
time.
speaking on that, so you've done a lot of work with oddities in the last couple of years.
Yes.
For sure. So you just got done taking
You guys should have
world
Todd Zimmerman
tour.
on the show.
We do need to have Todd on the
Okay.
show. He'll
Oh
freaking
man,
I like
you
Todd.
guys would love Todd, and Todd
Yeah.
would love you.
love it. We could have Todd and Timmy on here actually.
Yes.
All of the
You know?
T's.
Yeah.
All the T's.
Well, they
about-
are the
what about
T's of
Tobias?
oddities.
the oddities.
Oh.
The two T's at the end. They're the
Oh.
TTs.
I didn't know. That makes sense.
Yeah.
That does make
Enough
sense.
about them. I'm the one here now.
Yeah. He's here
Yeah.
now. He's the listener.
Sorry, Todd. Screw you, buddy. It's not your episode. So you got back from Abu Dhabi.
Yes.
So you were helping.
Which was
opening-
not. Which let me be clear. That was
Okay.
not working for oddities.
No, it was not working for
No,
oddities.
that was a Blue Trumpet Creative event.
Ladies and
Ladies and
freaking
gentlemen.
gentle
Yeah.
people.
Yeah, more on that a bit. But you.
Okay. So yes. So you were working with Todd out there.
Yes.
So how did you get approached to open up a freaking theme park? And they're like, "Yo, we're new SeaWorld. It's in the complete opposite side of the world, the country." Because then you have to think about culture. You have to think about humor. You have to think about how things translate through. Some things don't translate through sarcasm.
Sure.
So
Puns
oh
don't
my
do
gosh,
so well.
don't
Puns are
land.
terrible.
Puns don't land.
Puns are terrible. Europeans think we're so rude with our puns. But so how did you get the call? Where did that come from? Just give us a little bit. Let's talk about that.
So it was kind of a perfect storm where they had a company, they had a director, they had all this stuff all in place to take over and open the park creatively.
It's SeaWorld.
This is SeaWorld Abu Dhabi.
Okay.
And so they were all set and ready to go with that. But, as is true of so many things in the last couple of years, there was supply chain issues and there was, just making sure that there was enough people doing good quality work, all of that. So the opening of the park just kept getting bumped back. And so
impressive that you said that without stuttering.
I was just thinking that myself. And yeah, so I'm
I
glad
would have
you
mumbled
brought
that.
it- Yeah. So they, the initial company that was hired and the director that was hired to do what I ended up doing, they were like, "Sorry, we got other gigs. We have other things that we need to move on to. And we can't stick this out. We have other deadlines with other parks and other places. So we got to go. Here's everything that we made. You're going to have to find somebody else to take it to the finish line."
Wow.
And so I have worked at SeaWorld in Orlando for almost as long as I've worked at Disney, and off and on various opportunities, various jobs. But one of my more recent jobs that I've had with SeaWorld in Orlando is working on their dolphin presentation. And kind of helping the trainers, helping them, because the trainers are trainers first and foremost. Their main focus and goal is to take care of these animals, 100%.
Yep.
And the job of SeaWorld, and I love having this conversation. I will be glad to have this conversation with anyone. The mission of SeaWorld is rescue and rehabilitation, and your park ticket pays for that. And so whenever people question the ethics of SeaWorld, the animals that you see in the park are the ones that have been rescued but weren't able to be fully rehabilitated to go back into the wild. And so that is how they do what they do. And to be able to have an experience, have an opportunity to meet these animals up close and have that interaction with them, I think that changes people in a really great way where it makes them care about the animals that are out there in the wild. And so the animal trainers, their first job is to take care of these animals. We do ask them to deliver lines as actors on a stage and present those as, for different fun plots and storytelling. And so my job was to kind of come in and say, hey, here's a way to make that sound a little more natural. Here's a way to tell this story, to share this line in a way that it will be understood and really land with our audience. So that's what I was brought in and helped to do. So there's a very small club of people who have directed dolphin presentations. And so when the call
Creative.
came out,
It's a little bit of a niche market.
You're the elite, man.
We actually Googled it, and it was
That's
one
it.
thing that came up.
It's
actually
It wasn't
just
even other
Blue
things.
It was
It's
just
like
your picture.
so when they were looking, they put the call out to the SeaWorlds, the domestic parks, and my name was on a short list, and so I interviewed for the gig, and
That's fantastic.
and that
Man,
was that.
congratulations.
Thank you very much.
What's the difference between SeaWorld Orlando and Abu Dhabi SeaWorld?
SeaWorld Orlando, SeaWorld San Antonio, and SeaWorld San Diego, those are all outdoor parks. This is the biggest difference.
Okay.
Those are all outdoor parks. Abu Dhabi is a completely 100% indoor park.
What?
Wow.
Yes, and it is 5 stories tall. I would say, honestly, it has about the same footprint as Disney's Hollywood Studios.
Get out of here. All
yeah.
just covered?
All
it's so hot
all
there?
indoors. Yeah, because for about 6 months out of the year, they live between 110, 115.
the desert, right?
It's the desert.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, and so the idea of having a park be open 24/7, sorry, not 24/7, 365 days a year, having a park be open 365 days a year, they recognize, well, we can't do that if
Logistically.
nobody wants to be outside in 115 degrees.
2 seconds.
What is that like being an inside theme park? I feel like everybody's jokes like Disney needs to put a dome over for the rain, but
Does that mess with the animals? Like with their
So they have sunlight that comes in specifically. It does not mess with the animals. They've made sure that the light source is as close to the light source that they created. They worked with all these scientists, designers, creatives, and engineers to get as close to sunlight as possible. And then they build these environments that follow the same cycle of a day.
kind of like Animal Kingdom does, like
Yeah.
with
but with a dome.
is it a dome?
Like as a human, did it feel great or was it weird?
Were you like, I am now in an aquarium in an aquarium?
Like part of
you
me
know,
was like,
I
so
am
excited,
the
but
fish.
also like weird.
No, it was it feels completely fine. There are places where you can see outside and get sunlight and get an It's not like a casino where they don't want you to see outside.
Where you're like, is it 4 a.m. or noon?
What is happening? How long have I been here?
It's
What day
always
is it?
ocean time. It's just like dark.
No, it's
creepy.
completely there's places you can come and go and see outside. There's also like roller coasters that you get on the roller coaster and the roller coaster goes outside and then comes back
That's
in.
fun.
Yeah. So but it's incredible. It's really, really cool.
yeah.
The fact that it truly can be 100% immersive of whatever environment they want to create.
Sure.
That's amazing. So really quick, going back, so whenever they gave you the call, they had the costumes and things picked out. Did they have like where they wanted the shows to happen? And so they just asked you to kind of put everything together?
Yeah,
bring
for
it
the
to
most
life?
part, yeah.
How
For
many
the most
shows
part.
were you responsible for?
So my main focus was the dolphin presentation. I did a little bit of consulting on
other
some of the
shows.
other shows and presentations throughout the park, but so yeah, the majority of the things were designed, finished, done, signed off on, but at the same time, it had not been put practically into the space. And so it was kind of going, okay, we think all of this stuff works in theory. We think that the script works.
They
think
went to
that-
like mile 22 in the marathon, and they're like, bye.
Yeah, see you later.
Got it.
And so I was able to come in with a fresh perspective, and be able to take it over the finish line.
Yeah. So that was Blue Trumpet Creative, which is your company.
Yes.
Which you're the lead creative artist on there,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
Tell us about Blue
Well,
Trumpet.
yeah, Blue Trumpet Creative started, in 2020 out of a necessity of I needed something to do.
Right.
I was bored. I was kind of shuffling around the house a little bit
Kicking rocks.
kicking rocks for a couple of days. And my wife Kate was like, "You need something. You need something to do.
Just to get out.
Yeah, get out. It's time for you to go." So I put the call out into the world of going, "Hey, what are you working on, and how can I help?" And so people started calling and saying, "Well, here's what I'm working on, and here's how you could help. Here's how I'm working. Here's what I'm working on. I don't know how you can help, but if you want to come along and just be around, that'd be great." So did that all through like spring and summer of 2020. And then it grew into of like, okay, people are starting to pay me for this, so I should probably be a little bit fiduciarily responsible for this and create a company. So Blue Trumpet Creative was born in October of 2020. And Blue Trumpet Creative is coaching, consulting, and creative development. And the coaching, what I'm ending up doing a lot more of now, and which basically when I started, it was like, let's throw a bunch of stuff against the wall and see what sticks.
Right.
And so these were all things that I have done and have been paid for, and also this is the X factor: enjoy doing.
Yeah.
So
there we go.
We've all, if we're building a company, if we're starting a company from scratch, why on earth would we build something that we don't want to
hate?
get up and
Yeah.
go and do?
Right.
So you created like these different products, these different offerings,
Yeah.
and you were like, oh, these seem
I like
to be
doing
picked
this.
up.
I like doing this.
This one pays.
This one pays. This one
This one's
pays. I
fun.
like this one pays. I hate doing it.
Yeah.
I love doing it, but it doesn't pay.
Exactly. So what?
Yeah,
where's
yeah.
where's that connection of things
Yeah,
that
for
people that
sure.
were paying me, things that were projects of for things that I was being paid for, but also
It's a very broad
that I
sector
enjoy doing.
of business. So it's like, you're like, well,
Yeah.
but you could really hone it in and figure
And that was
out.
the thing. So early on, it was just trying a lot of different things. So coaching, consulting, creative development. The coaching, more and more of what I'm doing now is helping people anytime that they're about to step on any stage, helping them reduce the nerves and replace it with excitement, replace it
cool.
with happiness and enjoyment, and looking forward to stepping on stage, not being nervous about it. And I, and just kind of changing that. So whether it's an audition room or you have a big presentation to give to your company or a big pitch that you're going to do, and I'm going to be stepping in front of people and I'm going to be speaking out loud in front of a whole bunch of people, and I'm really nervous about it, but I can't be nervous. I need to be happy about it. I need to be
Focused,
excited. I need to be focused. I want to make sure that I say all of the things that I hope to say and not miss any of it. And so to take all of that, all that pressure that they feel and go, okay, shh,
Yeah.
let's be calm and let's look forward
Take
to it and have a
this
good
pill.
time.
Yeah.
You'll be fine.
You'll be fine.
That's a secret.
You won't remember any of it, but you'll be
black
fine.
out,
You'll be
but you're going to be great.
So that's the coaching. The consulting, as you guys know, I am passionate about the inner working and good health of organizations, companies, and teams. And so whether it's on stage or backstage, whether it is behind the scenes in a company or whether it is, the front facing stuff for the company, I am just super passionate about how the team works together and that functionality and the functional health of that. So when it comes to consulting, it's I'll sometimes say, it's about keeping the drama off only on stage.
Yeah.
Right.
for sure.
And also helping teams discover their leadership through creativity or discovering their creativity through leadership. And so I'm a firm believer in this. I talked a lot about this on the Leading Creative podcast is you can have all the ideas in the world, be the most creative person in the world, but if you have no influence to get that done, to lead and execute on it, then what good are those ideas? Meanwhile, you can have read all the books, listen to all the podcasts, been to all the conferences, have all of the influence and leadership skills in the world, but if you've got nothing new to share, nothing new to say, then what good is that leadership skill? So that's where the consulting comes into play, is helping organizations, helping teams land on those things. And then the creative development is just whatever I want to do.
Just the fun stuff.
It's just the fun stuff. Yeah, it's wide open by design of going, yeah, that sounds like fun. I'll do that. And so, yeah, we've created big giant events and small atmosphere type shows and things. One of my most favorite is a couple years ago we got to do a proposal, a marriage proposal, and got all of our friends together and did this proposal for. This guy came up to me and said, "Hey, there's this girl I really, really like, and she's really talented and really great, and I'm just not any of those things. Can you help me make something?
sweet.
Yeah, help me make something so that when I ask her this question, it is befitting for her." And so we got a whole bunch of people together and did that. There's I'll give you a link to a video.
We'll
of
put
it,
the
what we
link in
did.
the
Yeah,
in
put
the-
a link in the
in the
show
bio.
notes.
Yeah, link in the
In the show
show
notes.
notes.
Yeah, nobody looks at the show notes.
You do, and
I
you're our
do.
listener, so you're gonna.
I've seen the video.
Yeah,
it was like a flash mob. It was like a flash mob
cool.
kind of engagement. It was
awesome.
It was badass. Yeah.
So what's on the? We're starting to run out of time, which is so unfortunate.
Oh my
but
God,
what's
yeah.
on the horizon?
Yeah, what's next for Blue Trumpet?
Honestly,
Yeah.
I'm looking for the
SeaWorld,
next
New
thing.
Zealand?
Yeah, so no, I got back. Yeah, it was I got back from Abu Dhabi, and I was kind of like, okay, what's next? And so yeah, I'm frankly, I'm not sorry to say, not sad to say, had a great time in Abu Dhabi, but I was gone for almost 6 months.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so a lot
Everybody
of
forgets about you.
exactly. So I'm kind of rebuilding, and so thank you all for having me on
Sure. Oh my
to
gosh, of
your
course, brother.
podcast
Yeah.
to kind of share some of this stuff because I don't know necessarily what's next, but I do know I have a little sense of something big is coming. I don't know.
Oh my God.
You have that
You
tingly
heard it- you
feeling?
heard it
You
here
heard it here first.
Yeah.
folks. 6 to
Tingly
9 months from now.
feeling. I think it's gas. I'm still.
What's your? All right, let's keep it Orlando real quick. What's your favorite? What's a Orlando gem?
Orlando Gem, you know where I was just recently?
Where?
If you like this sort of thing, Corona Cigar Company.
You do love cigars.
You do love
you
a
and I.
cigar.
That's yeah.
Yeah,
Where
and
was-
so
where's that?
Well, there's one on Sand Lake. There's actually one across the street here
right over
from
here.
where we're recording.
Oh yeah, I know that place.
Yeah, and they boast, and rightly so. They have one of the world's largest cigar
Selections.
selections.
Yeah, they have
Really?
everything
Yeah.
you could think of it.
Yeah,
Everybody that works there is super nice.
So
and
great.
Very knowledgeable.
informative.
They're
Oh my
very
gosh.
knowledgeable.
Last
yeah.
night I was at the one on Sand Lake and had a great time. I started a tradition for myself, and I had to pull back a little bit on it because basically I would have a cigar anytime I finished a rehearsal process or opened a show. And I was like, okay, we finished this rehearsal process. We opened the show. Let's have a cigar.
Yep.
It's kind of the idea of, like
Yeah,
when
yeah.
dad's
When you
passing
have a
around.
baby, have a
Yeah,
cigar.
yeah, exactly. So we created this show. We made this thing happen.
Yeah.
Everybody have a cigar. Let's all meet up and have a cigar. And so I started that. But then it was like, well, my goodness, every other day we're
Doing all these
finishing up a
jobs.
rehearsal.
I'm doing all these gigs.
So I got to pull that back.
I did the same thing. Like anytime I'd be like, anytime I get something under contract, I'm gonna have a bourbon.
Yeah.
And then I was like, I'm drunk all the time.
I had 4 today.
Because like back then I did 8 sales, and now I'm doing like 25, 30. I'm like, man, I'm a lush.
So I love, so that's a gem,
gem.
that I think,
Okay.
we got a couple of those around town.
Yeah.
And
So if somebody wants to reach out to you, find you, see you,
Poke you.
I am on the
Oh,
socials.
remember that Facebook poke?
Yes.
Oh my gosh. Can
That's
you
how
poke
that's how
anyone
my
anymore?
that's how my
Your relationship
my
started.
relationship
Yeah.
started.
poked
A
you?
lot of my
I
relationships
poked her?
started with a poke.
She poked me.
She poked you.
Kate
Why
poked
get
me.
rid of that?
gosh.
Zuckerberg, if you're listening, he's probably
Hey, the
listening.
kids
Put
totally.
it back.
Started
I like a little, that was so passive.
It
to
was
be like,
just enough.
It was just enough. It was not like aggressive.
it was like a
just
tap on the shoulder.
Hey.
That's how you knew somebody was interested in
Hey,
you.
exactly.
But
hey,
in
I'm
an
paying attention to
unoffensive
you.
way.
That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Poke.
There was some times where I would just go around and just poke a lot of people.
Well, there-
course you
yeah,
would.
I'm the
early
late night
on.
poker.
You
Early
are the-
on, you
yeah.
could
I
you
would
could
just
poke
multi-poke.
everybody.
You could poke.
Do a
and
mass
you'd
poke.
be friends. You didn't have to be anything.
No.
I feel like they could bring it back. You have to be friends with somebody to
Yes.
poke them.
Sure. I agree with that.
Cool.
If you're looking to poke me,
Yeah. If you're looking to poke Rob Lott,
You have to do it in person.
at the
I am
synagogue.
on the socials at Rob A Lot 1B and 2 T's. And let's see what else I do. I have my own podcast, the Leading
Yeah,
Creative
listen to it.
Podcast.
Yep.
And
your sister's podcast is great
and
too.
my sister and I have a podcast called Let's Talk Soon, where we talk about what we are reading about, writing about, thinking about, and speaking up about. And yeah.
Dude, you have the mic, like the mic presentation is down.
Oh, it's because he's on. This is his third
And,
podcast of the
if you
day.
wanna-
You kidding me?
Yeah, dude.
Smooth
He's
as
going
butter.
to another one after
We're,
this.
we're all sitting here just yelling at each
Yeah,
other.
we just yell.
We
You've
just
heard our
shout
podcast.
into these microphones.
You know what
We
I love?
gotta-
I
we had to
do
have a
love.
meeting.
I do love. You have an engineer over here.
Vivian's
Yeah,
crushing
she's
it.
paying
She needs a
attention
raise.
to levels.
She
So
needs
we're
a
just able to
raise.
have a
She
conversation.
does need a raise.
I love it.
But no, we had to have a meeting this morning because they're like, "Can you three quit yelling into the microphone?" We're like, "We get
We're
excited."
like, well, you can't stop the energy.
no. Do you want us to be boring?
Can you harness a
Here's
tornado?
what I learned. What
Telling
I
us how
learned
to
from doing
turn.
my own podcast is whenever you laugh, throw your head back a little bit so it
Oh.
takes the edge off.
I did notice that earlier.
Takes the edge
It
off.
looked
Whenever
like
I
you
laugh,
were-
just laugh
I
just
was
a
like,
little
why
bit,
is he-
and it'll still pick up the laugh, but it's not going to mess up.
We were
the-
still doing. We were practicing this. Like, how do we look
Yeah.
at people but stay connected to the
You did
microphone?
laugh weird earlier, and
Like
in
Fire
my head, I was
Marshal
like, why is he
Bill.
laughing
Why is he
so
doing that?
weird? But
Yeah.
now
It's
I
a
know.
genuine laugh.
It is a
No, it
genuine
is
laugh.
But I'm
genuine,
just,
but
but
you
I've
looked-
learned
you
to
looked
throw it
up.
away.
It's choreographed
Yeah, throw it
now.
up.
It's a choreographed.
Throw up the laugh.
Thanks for coming. Thanks for coming on.
Oh man, I love you guys.
Yeah,
Thanks
no,
so much
thanks,
for
Rob.
having
We
me.
love you too, man. Congratulations on everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You deserve it.